In a few hours from now, the counting of votes for 4 states will begin. The excitement is high, not just in our newsroom, but amongst voters, citizens and netas. With exit polls predicting a fight to the finish, there's hectic activity across the battleground states. In Telangana, the Congress has accused the incumbent Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao and his party of trying to poach its MLAs. D.K. Shivkumar, Karnataka's Deputy Chief Minister and Chief Troubleshooter for the Congress, is already in Hyderabad trying to keep the Congress's flock together.
With counting in the assembly polls a few hours away from now, high drama unfolds in Telangana. A team of Congress leaders approached the Election Commission on Saturday and submitted complaints on 2 issues. The Congress alleged that large payments of 6,000 crore rupees was being made by the BRS to their favourite contractors out of turn. In its second petition, the Congress alleged that the Dharani portal is being misused to change land title records. Thousands of acres of assigned lands in Rangareddy, Sangareddy and Medchal districts are allegedly being transferred to benamis of Chief Minister Chandrasekhar Rao's family members, according to the Congress.
We have asked CEO to ask all returning officers that the election certificate for tomorrow, that our chief election agents should be authorized to collect the election certificate on our behalf. In several constituencies in the old city, there are CCTV records of the same persons voting again and again. So we said, you must immediately preserve this record and take action as per law.
Meanwhile, Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar will be in Telangana ahead of counting. Shivkumar has been hinting at resort politics after he claimed that few of their leaders approached him, saying that Telangana's Chief Minister had got in touch with them.
I think there is no problem, no threat, anything. We have confidence. Our party will win comfortably. All legislators will be loyal. We know that they are trying to trap. We don't know all information. Our candidates themselves have informed them that they have been approached by the CM directly himself.
When India Today questioned Congress MP Uttam Kumar Reddy about poaching allegations, he said that he was not aware of any such bid.
No chance of resort politics that everybody fears.
See, that I can't say. I can only say about the result that we will get around 70 to 72 seats.
The Congress, however, is confident of getting a majority in the elections.
Are you surprised? Be honest with us. Were you nervous that you could be below 60? This is an exit poll. How confident are you? 68 is the average we are giving you.
So I would say number may be going to increase. Up to
what is your number?
I know what is ground reality. My number is 80 plus. So the number is going to increase.
Where are you getting this confidence from? I mean, you know, Rahul has been pointing out here that you needed a tsunami to win this election. You're coming up from 28% and you've gone up to what, 42%. That's a 14% jump. Of course, 4% was TDP last time. What do you believe has changed between 2018 and 2023? We are having a debate in the studio whether it is because of Revant Reddy or Rahul Gandhi.
Can be both.
Can be both.
So because of Telangana people, it is nothing to do with the leaders. The swing from common man.
The BRS has rejected the exit polls which have predicted a Congress wave in Telangana. BRS leader K.T. Rama Rao posted a message saying that exit polls can take a hike, exact polls will give the news.
We're just hours away from the results streaming in for the state of Telangana. And amid that, with the exit poll predictions out, some parties are readying a plan B, some parties are readying their celebration plans. But are we in for a big surprise tomorrow, or will everything align with the exit polls? We'll know very soon. With video journalist Shivamurthy, this is Akshata Nandagopal reporting from Hyderabad for India Today.
I want to go across live to Hyderabad. Akshita Nandgopal joins us from their huge interest and excitement around India Today's coverage and around the end results. The exit polls were majorly awaited. Finally, those numbers went out. Now all attention on the counting centres where the counting will start. Hemendra Sharma joins us from Bhopal. We've got Devankur Vadhavan joining us from Rajasthan, Jaipur, and from Raipur we've got Summi Rajapan. All of them have had a very long few weeks of covering the hectic campaigning. So they're all, as you can imagine, anxious, excited and raring to go as well. So Akshita, I want to come to you first. Just at this moment, given the fact that the Congress has got DK Shiv Kumar there, he's keeping MLAs together. You don't really know who will be an MLA, so that's a bit tough and tricky to do. But who's looking edgy, who's looking nervous and who's looking confident at the moment, Akshita?
Well, our exit polls for sure sent ripples across Telangana, Rahul. And has it led to parties getting set with either celebrations or introspection? Well, I'll say it's a mixed bag, because as far as the Congress is concerned, they're talking about the swearing-in ceremony. As you mentioned, DK Shiv Kumar is going to be here in Hyderabad. They're already working out a plan B. If there's a need for their newly elected MLAs to be shifted to Bengaluru, they will most definitely do that, because they don't want to repeat of what happened in 2019, where 1 year, less than a year really after assembly elections, nearly 12 Congress MLAs jumped over and joined the then TRS. So they're trying to ensure that this time around there's no question of any MLAs being poached over to the other side. They're making claims like KCR is in touch with some of our candidates, though there are no names or any of that mentioned. As far as the BRS is concerned, they're continuing to maintain 70 plus seats, so much so that, Rahul, there are pictures now doing the rounds on social media of the Pragati Bhavan, which is the official CM residence. Of course, Chief Minister KCR doesn't live there. Some of his family members do. That particular building is getting a fresh makeover, a fresh layer of paint. So the BRS is saying that, look, we're preparing for a third term for Chief Minister KCR. So nobody really backing down right now. Everyone's still got their hopes high. Tomorrow, of course, we'll be out and about at all of these party offices to gauge the mood as the numbers continue to come in.
Thanks, Akshita. We'll see you bright and early in the morning tomorrow. Meanwhile, in Jaipur, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot has called a meeting at the War Room of the Congress, located at Hospital Road at 9 p.m. Sources have confirmed this is to discuss the outcome of the elections. This has also been seen as a confidence-building measure. SOPs will be shared with the leaders about what's to be done after the results are out. Devankur Vadhavan, is this a sign of confidence or an expression of anxiety?
Well, Rahul, a combination of both. Perhaps the Chief Minister, an old war horse, the wily politician he's known to be, wants to be doubly sure as to how the picture looks like. So what will be happening, Rahul, is that all the candidates of the Congress will be joining Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot via video conferencing. They will be presenting their estimates, the picture that is, and all the pictures that will be made available to us. We will try to ensure that they are first on India Today. But perhaps the Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot quite confident, feeling that he will be anointed for the fourth time. And, we will try to get not just the sharpest analysis, Rahul, on India Today, but also the big talking heads come tomorrow, whether it's Pilot or Vasundhara or Gehlot. The India Today network will try to be at the forefront of our coverage come tomorrow.
Okay,
Rahul?
they're all watching India Today at this moment, which is also a great responsibility. I mean, it's terrific that there is so much interest. It's also a great responsibility because it needs that you be that much more careful. Rashid Kidwai joins me for perspective in the studio. Rashid sir, welcome. What's the mood in the Congress, in your opinion? You've been speaking to lots of leaders. Are they anxious? Are they hopeful?
I think there is a lot of cautious optimism, and Telangana is head of their table suddenly, and not so much Chhattisgarh or Madhya Pradesh or Rajasthan. They think that Telangana victory will eclipse all other state elections.
But will it, if they lose Madhya Pradesh in the way that's being projected, given the anti-incumbency against the BJP there? That is a big victory for the BJP and a big defeat for the Congress.
Yeah, I think in the Congress assessment, it's going to be either drastic, because the region is same, a pro-incumbency vote or anti-incumbency vote. Both scenarios. If there is pro-incumbency, then Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, they win. And in case of anti-incumbency, they win Madhya Pradesh, or perhaps they retain Chhattisgarh. So that is the kind of calculation. Three states, Rahul, is going to be very important.
So, Rahul Verma, do you buy this theory, the probability that if one state goes a particular way, it may have a rub-on effect on the other two heartland states as well? Or do you think that's highly unlikely? I also want to welcome Ashok Malik. T.S. Sudhir is with us, as is Salman Soh. So, Rahul, does this prospect of a rub-on effect look likely, or do you think they're all very isolated elections?
No, I think this time all 5 states, especially as the exit polls have shown, are 5 different state elections. You can't tie them together. In some states, incumbents are coming back. In some cases, incumbents are being thrown out. Mizoram and Telangana could be those 2 states where incumbents can be thrown out. But in the Hindi heartland, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, and Madhya Pradesh, if exit polls are right, they are going for the incumbents, and in Rajasthan, we have a 50-50 chance of incumbent coming back. So, and also, like the discussions we had at India Today yesterday and day before, the micro data suggests very different patterns. In some states, the Dalits and Adivasis are voting for the BJP. In some states, they are not doing so. In some states, the younger voters are backing the incumbents. In other states, younger voters are backing against the state government. So I would say these are very, very different elections. Of course, if the way, in some cases, if Congress wins Telangana, manages to retain Chhattisgarh and maybe Rajasthan, then yes, but losing MP would be a setback, but they would still have 3 states to go with, right? And that would be a huge morale booster for the party in the run-up to 2024. Of course, it also depends on how they read that situation. They can think now that we have 3 states in our hand, we can take on Modi alone, and that would be sort of like a doomsday for India alliance. Or they can be a lot more generous and think that, okay, now we have 3 states or 2 states, and if we stitch a good alliance, we can at least put a credible fight. So it will not depend on not just which states Congress wins, but how it reads the 2023 verdict and what plans it has from now on.
A lot, do you agree, Salman Soh, rides on the results tomorrow, particularly when it comes to the India alliance? Because if you are not able to register a strong showing tomorrow, some of the allies will actually be secretly happy, because they'll think, okay, they'll have a more reasonable Congress on the bargaining table. If you do very well, they'd be concerned that the Congress then would flex its muscles.
Rahul, I don't think that is the calculation. I hope our allies in the India alliance don't think like that. No matter what happens tomorrow, we will have a strong India alliance, because we know that we have to carry all of India together if we have to take on the BJP and its allies. So there is no question in my mind, there is no question in the mind of the party leadership that we are going to be taking all of our colleagues in other parties with us. And of course, everybody, if you're in politics, you understand that a strong Congress is necessary for defeating the BJP. So a strong Congress is not a threat to the India alliance. A strong Congress is a threat to the BJP. And let me just say this, Rahul. The way these elections have been fought, you've seen me, Rahul, now with the Congress for almost since 2012, and I've seen a lot of days when. Down days in some ways in my political kind of career. But I can tell you in the last 6, 8, 10 months, I've seen things change in the party. And I hope we have some really good results tomorrow. But I can tell you that the way the party has fought these elections and the Karnataka elections and the Himachal elections, I think we are ready to take the fight to the BJP.
Do you buy that, Ashok Malik? Do you think the Congress is getting smarter as an opponent to the BJP? I mean, some of their strategies are actually imported from the BJP, so that's a different matter. We leave that on the side for the moment. The fact is, Salman Soh argues that they've, post-Karnataka, post-Himachal, been fighting smarter, sharper elections. Do you buy that at all? You're on mute, I think, Ashok.
Look, to be fair to the Congress, they've certainly got their game together and game going in a series of state elections. Karnataka was one example where the Congress could have conceivably imploded with factional infighting, but the 2 big leaders were brought together, and Shiv Kumar and Siddaramaiah, they came together and did as good a job of campaigning as the BJP has done in any state election. In Rajasthan, if I don't know who will win tomorrow, but if Gehlot is still in the fight and close to a victory or resting only a narrow defeat, hats off to him. In Telangana, the Congress has come back at the expense of a regional party. 10 years after the Congress was wiped out would be a huge achievement for it. I wouldn't draw huge implications for the national election because that is a very different election. The Congress is strong in more and more states, but it still has a national problem. Let's not run away from that. It does not have an alternative to Mr. Modi. But I would say one thing leading up to, if your exit polls, if Pradeep Gupta's exit polls are right, leading up to 2024, we could have a situation where all of South India, apart from Andhra Pradesh, is with the India alliance. And the BJP remains very strong in, broadly speaking, Northern India and Western India. This is an interesting sort of dichotomy, and we'll need to see how this plays out in the Lok Sabha election.
Rahul Verma, what impact could tomorrow's verdict have on the Lok Sabha elections? Do you think, like we saw in 2018, there really was no impact, if at all the anti-incumbency got flushed out and the BJP went to voters post Balakot very strong and managed to pull in the votes? Do you think, how would you read the verdict tomorrow and the consequences for the finals next year?
So I'm going to use lots of ifs to answer this question. See, we know that, as Ashok was saying, BJP has a national advantage, but problems in the state. And Congress has now increasingly with Karnataka, Himachal, and maybe Telangana, has advantage in state politics, but problems at the national level. So it lot depends on whether the election to 2024 becomes national in character or not. If the elections are going to be national in character, then these state results wouldn't have any bearing, especially if the BJP doesn't do well. But if the election remains state by state and BJP hasn't done well in these state politics, it will have some problems. I'm not saying they are going to lose the elections, but it won't be in a similar position as it was in 2019. And similarly, if Congress fails to do well tomorrow, then I think their campaign for 2024 is largely over. But if they do well and elections remain state by state and they manage to stitch a good alliance, they will show up a good fight in 2024.
Yes, Sudhir, what impact, if at all, could the verdict in Telangana have on the Lok Sabha elections? And do you think it may have a ripple effect on what may happen in Andhra Pradesh?
Yes, good question. In fact, Andhra Pradesh is something which we missed speaking about. But Lok Sabha first, I think the BRS will find it very difficult in case the exit poll findings are correct. And that's what plays out on Sunday. Then the BRS would feel the effect even in the Lok Sabha elections 4 months from now. Because even last time when it won 88, it could not hold on to its strength and came down to just 9 Lok Sabha seats. So that's something which the BRS would worry about. And I think the Lok Sabha elections would be mainly fought between the Congress and the BJP as far as Telangana is concerned. Andhra is actually an interesting case because most Congress leaders have been telling me that they would hope for some kind of improving their position in Andhra Pradesh because that's where they have been reduced to complete zero. Now, one would assume that if Revanth Reddy were to become the chief minister, he would naturally support someone like Chandrababu Naidu, who was the Telugu Desam chief, who is the Telugu Desam chief, and that's where Revanth Reddy was before. But the alternate view is that, well, Naidu is like a former boss of Revanth Reddy. There is really no need for him to be loyal to Chandrababu Naidu right now. So the Congress could actually play its own game, fund more candidates, place more good candidates, put new faces, and perhaps try to make a fight of it. Do not rule out even some kind of an understanding with Jagan Mohan Reddy. The Reddy community, very active in both Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and that could actually bring even a Revanth Reddy and a Jagan Mohan Reddy together. So,
except that Jagan doesn't need Revanth Reddy. Jagan, in the way that he is right now, doesn't think he needs anyone.
Well, Jagan Mohan Reddy will also face anti-incumbency for pretty much the same reasons that BRS is. His MLAs are also accused of corruption, of being arrogant, of being inaccessible, pretty much the same things that we are accusing the BRS MLAs and candidates of. So in that sense, Jagan will also face 5 years of anti-incumbency, plus the fact that the BJP has some kind of control over him. He has his court cases to take care of. So in that sense, Jagan Mohan Reddy does not go against the BJP, even though he's not a part of the NDA. He supports the NDA on all contentious issues, including voting in the Rajya Sabha. So between the TDP and the YSRCP, what position the Congress takes will be very interesting.
Rashid Kidwai, what's your take?
Yeah, I think the Congress will get in extremely combative mood if they win, Telangana. Remember, Revanth Reddy has a, image of a, fighter. You look at Bhupesh Baghel, you look at all of them are taking on Prime Minister Narendra Modi in their respective state, be it Kamal Nath, be it, Ashok Gehlot. So that is going to give a lot of confidence, 2 seats, 3 seats. Rahul, just, Congress has ordered 200 kgs of laddu from Bengali market for tomorrow. So that shows the amount of confidence they have. They already ordered, laddus in a big way. In Delhi, yeah, Bengali market, Bengali sweet house to be precise.
Because they're winning in Telangana.
They are winning. They are very confident of, 2 or 3 states.
Okay. I want to go across to Hemendra Sharma because the one state where the Congress is unlikely to do well is Madhya Pradesh. Of course, the state leadership there doesn't think so. They've been doing press conferences against the exit polls. We've seen all that played out today, Hemendra. What's the mood in Bhopal at this moment? Is Mamaji in the mood of in the view of the pundits likely to come back, or is there likely to be a change in guard?
Well, after November 17, when elections were held in Madhya Pradesh, the Congress rank and file appeared visibly confident. They were claiming that after 20 years of BJP rule, their time to rule with a full-fledged majority has come in Madhya Pradesh. But then came those exit polls, and the spirits of the Congress rank and file got dampened, while the BJP, on the other hand, was relatively silent after the 17th of November. They were not claiming a huge victory. They were saying that they might touch the magic figure of 116, but they never claimed a huge majority. And these exit polls, they lifted the spirits of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and some sort of psychological warfare is being played out in Bhopal. It was played out in Bhopal today. In fact, posters of Kamal Nath coming as the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh were put up outside the Congress office, while the BJP, after 1 day of euphoria, 1 day of celebration, they chose to stay relatively quiet. No leader came on record, or no leader boasted of a huge victory today in Madhya Pradesh. So the Congress party, on the other hand, is claiming that it is going to fight, and they have certainly not given it up. But the spirits of the Bharatiya Janata Party are certainly high after the exit polls.
It's very interesting because neither the Congress nor the BJP are fully sure about the poll. And Rahul Verma, it usually isn't like this. Whoever's winning, they say, sahi hai. Whoever's losing, they say, na, ekdam bogus hai. Here you have a situation where both are reluctant to accept because they're not sure. And if this poll is correct, it means there was a sweep in favor of the BJP. And even the BJP didn't know that there was such a wave in their favor. You're on mute, I think, Rahul.
That's true. I think regarding Madhya Pradesh, I think the consensus till Access My India poll came out was that it's going to be close election, a cliffhanger like last time. And even in BJP circles, I think the conversation was that we will be able to save the government. And I think the highest they might have been expecting was 110, 115, 120. I don't think anyone within the BJP circle was expecting 150 plus seats. And so it's natural for, both parties, not just in Madhya Pradesh, but everywhere when exit poll come out, the winner in the exit poll is going to react differently.
Oh, sure. But Ashok Malik, what would you make of this? If this is correct, one, of course, is that the poll could possibly be wrong. If it's not, then there's a whole wave staring you in the eye. And all the netas who are going, the pundits who are going, nobody seems to catch it.
Look, if these numbers are correct, and I agree with Rahul Verma that till a few months ago, the Congress was the hot favorite to win in Madhya Pradesh. In more recent times, my people I spoke to in the BJP had said the BJP has caught up and probably turned it around. That's what they said. But no one predicted a 2/3 majority. No one is talking about that, which is what this poll is suggesting. But if indeed the BJP wins so comfortably, it tells you that the BJP's electioneering, its strategy of putting all its chieftains into the fray and saying, all of you have skin in the game, go fight the elections, it tells you that somewhere the BJP campaign machine has worked, which it obviously has not worked in other states like Rajasthan, if the polls are right, but it has certainly worked here. And that, to my mind, is, along with Mr. Modi's appeal, the BJP's strongest calling card for the national election, that it fights elections like nobody else does.
Sridhar Reddy of the BRS also joins us. What's the mood, Mr. Reddy, at this time in the BRS camp? The exit polls seem to suggest that that slogan, bye-bye KCR, could ring true tomorrow.
See, the exact polls will be totally different from exit polls. We have seen all the hype of the exit polls from day before yesterday, even until now. But you will see a different result tomorrow in the morning. And BRS party, we are confident we are going to form the government for the consecutive third time. And Shri KCR will be the Chief Minister of State of Telangana. That is for sure. And this bye-bye KCR can never happen because these, political tourists from Delhi and Karnataka, are not real. That's what the people of Telangana understands. And the development what we have done and the welfare what we have done in the past 9.5, 10 years, and to the people of Telangana, everybody understands what is real and what is fake. And Congress, fake guarantees have not given any result to them. And only for that reason, they are actually trying to create this kind of hype. And we are confident. We don't have any reason to worry. We clearly understand the ground. I myself was the in charge for a crucial constituency in Hyderabad. We are winning hands down there. So absolutely, we are not worried at all.
I want to cut across for a moment to Chhattisgarh. Sumi Rajappan joins us from there. Sumi, Chhattisgarh could potentially go down to the wire. The polls suggest the Congress has the edge, but not a very comfortable edge, and there are enough scenarios where the BJP too could do well. So you could possibly have a super over in Chhattisgarh tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. And especially after our polls, we have predicted a cliffhanger, and it has opened doors to a lot of deliberations. And that's what exactly both the political parties are on to. They're deliberating the post-poll scenarios. In fact, the Congress is a step ahead, and they have already tasked Ajay Markan to closely monitor the post-poll scenario if there is. And in fact, Ajay Markan will be here in Raipur shortly. And in BJP, there's a lot of deliberations going on as to how they will prevent all of the horse trading that they are now not focused on. And in fact, they're also very much confident that they will gain a comfortable majority. But Bhupesh Baghel has been maintaining a very low-key profile ever since our exit polls came into being. And in fact, Bhupesh Baghel hasn't said anything since then, and, apart from his statement that the 57 figure will reverse itself and it becomes 75 for the Congress. But apart from that particular statement, both the leaders have maintained low-key, and they are with confidence, but they're also prepping up for the worst-case scenario as well. No ordering of laddus and gaja baja have happened yet. That again shows a lot of anxiousness that both the parties have been facing.
Everybody wants to hold their laddus and keep the bands away, lest the bands are there and the music's playing at the other party headquarters. That can never be a good sign. Sumi, I won't hold you back because you have a lot of planning and preparation to do for tomorrow's counting day. So thank you very much for joining us. So let's look now for a moment with our guests in the best case and the worst case scenario. So I'll start with asking this question to Ashok Malik. Best case, worst case scenario.
For whom? For Pradeep Gupta or for the parties?
No, for the parties. See, here's what I want to say about the poll, Listen, the poll is an analytic exercise. Don't overhype it. I know there's so much buzz and excitement around every comma and full stop in that poll. It's just an analytical tool. Use it for what it's worth. This is not the gospel truth. This is not a Brahm Vakya. Leave it on the side. Hopefully it'll be right. I mean, there's a 95% track record backing the poll, but then India lost in the finals against Australia after winning 10, so there can be the odd day. So don't overhype the poll. Just stick to the actual numbers for the moment, and best case and worst case for the BJP and the Congress.
Well, best case for the Congress would be winning Telangana, which will be the biggest story for them from this election if that happens, and winning at least 2 of the 3 North Indian states. They expected to win Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. Maybe they'll end up winning Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. But 2 out of 3 plus Telangana would certainly be their best case scenario. For the BJP, winning 2 of 3 North Indian states would really matter. If they can manage to displace the Congress in either Rajasthan or Chhattisgarh and win Madhya Pradesh comfortably, which is their old bastion. Madhya Pradesh is one of the BJP's and the broader Sangh Parivar's oldest bastions. I would argue even older than Gujarat. So if they manage to retain it comfortably after over 20 years, almost 25 years in power, and displace the Congress in one of those two neighboring states, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, that would be their best case scenario.
What's the best case, worst case scenario for the Congress and the BJP in your view?
Rashid. I think tomorrow may belong to the Congress party, regardless of whatever, if they win three states, because Telangana is the biggest thing, and then plus of course, as I keep
why
saying,
is Telangana bigger than Madhya Pradesh?
Because this is one state where Congress is coming back in a big way. Rahul have been saying wherever Congress loses to a third front party, it has never come back. Look at the history of the elections, whether it was Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Bengal, Odisha, so many states. So if they come back, they stage a comeback in Telangana, and mind you, this would open the gates for Congress crossing 100 mark in Lok Sabha seats also, because unlike Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, where Congress did well in assembly elections but did not do well in Lok Sabha elections, Congress will do exceedingly well in the Lok Sabha elections also, if that happens. So it's a major victory. And look at that problem for Mr. Narendra Modi. Unless there is a a vote where BJP wins both Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, of course. Otherwise, it will not, because it was the election Mr. Modi versus state satraps, of the Congress. So if Shivraj does well and Mr. Modi's campaign fails in Chhattisgarh and in Rajasthan, it's going to raise a lot of questions.
Okay. Rahul Verma, from your perspective, looked at just from the data and the academic side, best case, worst case scenario for these political parties?
See, I think for BJP, if Pradeep Gupta's number are going to be right in Madhya Pradesh, that should be the beginning of what the best case scenario for BJP is. If they manage to also get Rajasthan, I think they should be super happy. That is because last time, at least from electoral election point of view, they got all three states wiped out in 2018. So winning one and also getting Rajasthan, because it's part of that electoral cycle, that should be the best case scenario. Of course, if they lose all states, that's the worst case scenario. For Congress, I think the best case scenario depends on not just the number of states they win, but what they read from that verdict. Because what has been happening with the Congress party, they're not reading both the defeats as well as their victories right. And that has what has kept them in the backseat for last 10 years of Indian politics. So if they win Telangana
How should they read it? How should Salman Soz in the Congress read the verdict if the exit polls come out to be correct?
And Mr. Gupta is giving 3 states to Congress.
They cannot try to make this election national. They cannot try to make this election about national level leadership. As soon as they walk into that trap, then I think it would be very, very difficult. And the second thing, if they win 3 or 4 states tomorrow, they should not get into this idea that they can challenge BJP in 2024 alone. See, there is already a murmuring within the alliance that they didn't give seats to Samajwadi Party or AAP in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. Congress can very well argue that these parties don't have any presence in these states. But why should AAP then leave a seat for Congress in Delhi during Lok Sabha elections, or for that matter in Punjab, or for that matter SP in Uttar Pradesh? Unless Congress learns to give, I think they won't be able to make this a contest. Is there a
fear, Salman Soz, as was the case in 2018, that the Congress misreads the verdict, gets carried away, starts pumping their chest and saying we are back, even though an assembly election is very different from a Lok Sabha poll?
Well, first, Rahul, let me give you the best case scenario for the Congress, because that is the question you asked everybody. I think the best case scenario is obvious. 4 state victories plus a hung assembly in Mizoram. That would be the best case scenario for us. And by the way, it is eminently possible. It is entirely possible for no other political party, including the BJP, is in a position to say that they could form the government tomorrow in 5 states. The Congress party is. Because some exit polls are giving us Rajasthan, some are not. Some are giving us Madhya Pradesh, some are not. All are giving us Chhattisgarh, all are giving us Telangana. And in some polls in Mizoram, there is a hung assembly. So the best case scenario for us would be that. Now, as far as the second part of your question is concerned, I think a lot of things have happened since 2018. This is not the same India. This is not the same BJP. This may be the same Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah and all that. They may have a lot more money. They may have a lot more resources, but this is not the same Congress. I can tell you from what I've seen, from what I'm seeing about my party, about my colleagues, top to bottom, leadership, workers, everybody is committed to make a change in India, in New Delhi. And we know that we cannot do it. It's not just us. It's about all of India. And that means working closely with our allies and whoever is willing to fight with us. Because we want to fight, we want everybody to fight with the BJP and the RSS like we do, like our leaders do. Whether it's Kharge ji, whether it's Rahul ji, whether it's Priyanka ji, whether it's Sonia ji. That's the kind of fight we want against the RSS and the BJP. And there are plenty of people in this country, in the opposition ranks, who are willing to join us and fight shoulder to shoulder. I have no doubt that we will do so. I'm not worried, by the way, about this possibility that the Congress will win 3 or 4 states or maybe 5 states and then basically say we don't need anybody else. We need to carry all of them together.
Okay, Sudhir, in your reading, the best case and worst case scenario for the players in the fray?
Well, for the Congress in Telangana, the best case scenario would be to cross 72 to 74 seats, because that would put it in a comfortable position. The bad scenario is if they land up in that 62 to 65 range, because then they would be vulnerable to any kind of political blackmail by their own MLAs. The worst case scenario for the Congress is if they end up around the 55 to 58 mark, because the mind games have already started. The BRS camp has been saying that we are in touch with some Congress MLA candidates who could be in a winning position. So there could be poaching of that sort. The bad scenario, the chief minister has said that we could win up to 75 seats. That's the BRS. And the worst case scenario for the BRS is winning only about 50 and not being in a position, even with Owaisi, to form the government. As far as the BJP is concerned, they say that the best case scenario would be to end up in double digits, and they are not going to be happy if they end up in single digits. So every party looking at the possibility of how much they can possibly get and at what stage the Congress or the BRS would be absolutely safe.
Well, most often there is a certain level of predictability, maybe not about the quantum of victory or defeat, but about the direction of victory and defeat on the eve of counting day. This is one of those unpredictable, chaotic elections where nobody on this show and nobody watching can say he knows for sure what will happen. There will be somebody smiling, there will be somebody crying, and we'll be at hand to capture all of that and more. We'll be back early in the morning tomorrow, Super Sunday, as we bring you India Today's coverage of the verdict. The election intelligence dashboard is all set to go. The polls are done. The exit polls are done. This is when we give you live, ball by ball, vote by vote commentary and try and make sense of the great dance of India's democracy. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to our guests, and I look forward to seeing you at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Goodbye. Good night.